Today, live on the Marilyn Denis Show. He's got the #1 album and he's live in our studio. American Idol alum Adam Lambert is here. Plus, we sit down with Hollywood starlet Rachel Bilson to talk acting, fashion, and her Canadian boyfriend. Then our guide to the world's best bargain shopping destinations where you can shop till you drop on a dime. And from the best sunscreens to the top practical and fashionable accessories, we'll show you how to properly protect your skin this summer. That's coming up next. And now, here she is, Marilyn Denis.
Big show today. We have a big show for you today. How's everybody doing? Do we have some Lambert fans? The Glam is here. Okay, well, welcome to the show. My first guest is by far one of the most original and talented performers in the music biz, and his latest album, Trespassing, is #1. Please welcome Glam superstar Adam Lambert.
Again.
Oh, good to see you. Look at everyone left here. Good morning. How about that? Have a seat.
Good morning.
Look at you.
Good morning.
#1 album. Come on, second album, right?
Crazy.
It's crazy because we were talking earlier on the morning show when you did the radio show with us, talking about usually the second album coming out is tough, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a certain amount of expectation, a certain amount of pressure.
Yeah. And then it comes out and it... #1.
Yes.
So how does that make you feel? Like, I mean, you worked long enough on this thing.
I worked really hard. I worked for a year and a half on this album. And we kind of kept pushing it. I was like, I don't know if I'm ready yet. I feel good. I feel accomplished. I feel like my fans got what they deserve. You know, I worked really hard on it for them.
Yeah. What did you do to work hard on it? Like, I know you picked up some great
wrote on
producers.
most of the songs. I co-wrote most of it. I executive produced the album, so I kind of just oversaw it all creatively.
Yeah.
I obsessed. I obsessed like crazy over it. So.
And then you have to walk away sometimes. They go, I got to leave it as it is.
That was the hardest part, yeah. My friends were like, back off, Adam, back off, back away from the music. Let it rest for a minute.
Well, I also was talking to you, too, because I'm always amazed when people produce and they write their songs and how they put an album together. And what I loved about your album is charged with so much energy at the beginning of the album, and then it kind of changes the pace. So talk to us about that.
Well, the concept behind the album is that it almost has two halves to it. And the first half of the album is all about living your life like you want to, being who you want to be, being proud of yourself, being different, marching forward, not letting anybody stand in your way. And then the second half of the album kind of talks about what lies underneath that type of confidence. Because anybody that puts themselves out there in the world, we're not invincible, you know? We all have our faults. And what I wanted the album to reveal is that underneath all that peacocking and all that pride and that swagger, sometimes, you know, I'm just like everybody else. I have my bad days, I have my insecurities, I have my heartaches.
What's your insecurity? What's an insecurity for
you?
you?
Oh my God, I could like give you like a laundry list of insecurities.
Really?
Yeah, and you know, and I think it's a process. I think everybody, you know, especially, I just turned 30 this year, and the last,
Our baby's grown.
Yeah, and it's an interesting milestone because I can look back now in my 20s and look at the journey that I've made and realize that myself and a lot of my friends in my life are on a similar path of finding your identity and getting comfortable in your own skin and finding what really makes you truly happy. Not what society is telling you is going to make you happy, but what you actually want.
Yeah.
You know?
Now, do you still have the same friends from way back then?
Yeah.
Core group?
My closest friends are people that I knew before I was on Idol, before,
Trespassing, what did you mean by that? Why'd you call it that?
Well, that was a song that I wrote with Pharrell Williams, which is...
Can we talk about who he is?
He's
I know
amazing.
you were just talking so much about him today. You were so thrilled that he was working with you. Why were you so thrilled?
Well, I mean, Pharrell's one of the innovators of pop and hip-hop over the past, you know, decade or more. And when the label suggested that we work together, I thought, am I cool enough to even be in the room with him? No, he's the guy, you know, and it was really awesome because I got in there and he's so smart and he looks at things in a very big picture kind of abstract way, which I thought was really awesome. So we started writing about being an outsider and being somebody that's different and dealing with overcoming obstacles and challenges.
And a lot of obstacles and challenges in your life, for sure,
Yeah.
along the way.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, I was really lucky to get on Idol and to have such a beautiful experience on the show.
Yeah.
And after the show, you know, it's a whole other set of challenges.
Yeah.
Making it into the real music industry out of a competition show is a big jump.
Sure it is.
So that was an interesting shift.
And how do you think you fared with that?
Well, right now I feel like I'm faring
really
all right.
good. Yeah. But you know what, Adam, you're doing great. But you know, if you could go back to that time, would you have navigated a little differently, even though the outcome's been great? Would you, like, what would you tell somebody else that was going through that same thing?
Who's gone through the Idol thing?
And then you have to come out and you have to do...
You know, it's you got to keep your eyes and your ears open. You got to be aware of the business. You got to be aware of all the people, the professionals giving you their advice, because they do know what they're doing. But there is also this balance that has to be achieved of listening to your own voice and finding what you want to do and what makes you an artist. And that balancing act is the tricky part, I think.
Have you kept up with some of your pals in Idol?
Yeah, we definitely keep in touch.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Chris Allen just came out with a new album. It's beautiful.
Yeah. He's the one that won.
Yeah, and his album is great. It's a very heartfelt album. It's really good.
Well, he's a good guy, too.
Yeah, really good guy.
And you guys were roommates, too.
Yeah, we were. Yeah.
It's so
And then
unbelievable.
all of us. I mean, everybody's doing their thing, you know. And that's kind of the interesting part about it too. It's almost like high school. It's like after school, everybody kind of goes on their own path. And I don't know. I want to do like a big reunion one of these days with them. That'd be fun.
I think that would be fun for us to watch. You know, it almost seems, I don't have the statistics on it, it's almost like you don't want to win Idol. Because it seems like they've had more success, those who did not win,
really?
than those that won. Yeah.
Well, Kelly won, Carrie won.
Yeah.
They're both two of the most successful ones.
They are, but think about the other ones.
I think it's kind of, you know, I think at the end of the day, it's a case-by-case thing.
Yeah, right.
I think you get on the show, and it's your chance to show your talent to the world and to introduce yourself to the public and to fling the door wide open for opportunities. And then it's what you do with it after that makes or breaks you, you know?
I have always performed Bohemian Rhapsody with a hairbrush, and the speakers behind me, and I've been outstanding.
I bet.
I thought I was pretty good at it, Adam. But you actually did it. Can you please, I got chills when you did that. I just got chills when you performed with Queen. Let's talk about when you did that for Idol and now what you're doing with them.
Yeah, it worked out well, didn't it?
How amazing is that?
It's cool. It's really interesting how things line up, you know?
Yeah.
And the universe is synchronized in many ways, I think.
Was your audition song Bohemian Rhapsody?
Yeah, it was.
They're talking about a simple song, to audition with.
Well, it's funny, when I auditioned, and they didn't show this on the first broadcast, my first song that I did for the judges was actually Rock With You by Michael Jackson. And I think they saw how I was dressed, and, you know, they were thinking big picture, and they were kind of like, do you have anything else? And then I did Queen, and I think it clicked for them, the more glam rock thing. And,
for sure.
And yeah, now I'm going to do 6 shows with Queen this summer in Europe, 3 in London, 3 in Eastern Europe. I'm very excited.
Are you going to be part of the opening ceremonies for the Olympics?
I don't think I'm allowed to be. I think you have to actually be a British citizen in order to perform at the British. There's some sort of like, you know, you have to be a part of the...
Are you kidding?
Yeah, I'm American. I'm not British.
I know that. But that's so weird. So to
there's
do that,
something. I heard something. I don't know what the facts are on that, but there's some sort of loophole.
So you're gonna do a little bit now. When you perform with Queen, is just Queen songs or some songs from Trespassing? You do a little bit of both.
Oh no, I'm just doing Queen.
Just
I'm their guest, so I'm very honored to be, and I'm going to do some work with them the next couple weeks in London to rehearse and prepare.
Wow.
And yeah,
I'm
their guest
though?
singer. I'm excited. I have butterflies.
We all love Freddie Mercury. We all still hear him singing.
As do I.
So when you go in and do something like that, I would guess there'd be a little bit of trepidation. Although I never, ever, when I saw you on stage, ever thought that you could never handle anything.
I mean, I think there's probably some purists that are like, oh, there's only one Freddie Mercury, and those are tough shoes to fill. And I agree. And I'm going to bring my own shoes to the party.
Good for you.
I think Freddie would like Freddie would like my footwear.
Are they about this high?
Yeah, there's probably a little lift on the back. But you know, I think the idea is to go in there and to pay respect to a legend, to a legendary band, and to go in there and pay homage to a great songwriter and a great performer, but not get up there and try to like mimic.
Yeah.
You know, there's a certain amount of like
it's true.
taste that I'm trying to go into it with.
Sure. your parents. We have to talk about your
Yeah.
parents and all your success. And I know they've been very supportive. How are they doing with all this stuff that's happening?
They're so excited.
Yeah.
I think my father was kind of like, oh, thank God I don't have to worry about your financial situation.
But was he not thrilled? Did he not get a record, an actual record?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
wanna
we
tell
were talking
everybody about that?
we did a vinyl for this album, Trespassing.
No, that's so great.
And my father had took a picture and put it on his Facebook of the album. He says, my son is on vinyl. This is a lifelong dream.
Yeah, it's so
which
great.
was really cool.
It's so great.
So.
What would you like to tell your fans right now? Because I looked up, Adam Lambert fans. It was like page after page. So supportive of you. And what would you like to tell them right now?
Thank you. I
Yeah,
want to say thank you. I mean,
yeah.
I think that, it's because of the fans that this album is doing so well right now.
Sure.
And I wrote it for them, and I'm glad everybody loves it.
And what's
Yeah.
going to happen now? Where are you going to go on tour? You're going to do Queen?
I'm going to be doing the Queen stuff this summer, and then I'm doing a lot of promotional stuff. So I'll be traveling around the world promoting the new album.
Yeah.
And then hopefully sometime next year, maybe
Concert?
put a tour together.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
would be great. We'd
Yeah.
love to see you.
I would love
We've
that.
got a Twitter question for you. Do you have time for this?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. How do you feel about being called a gay icon?
I feel good. I think it's been an interesting road because there's not a ton of visibility in the music industry for the LGBT community. And the fact that this album has charted, and I was just told last week that I'm the first openly gay artist to debut at #1. It's a cool milestone. And I think what it proves is that music doesn't have an orientation. Music is universal. And I would like to think of this album as kind of an example of us moving past all the stereotyping and the
Yeah.
Instead
of looking at that as a statistic,
yeah,
like just being the music
yeah,
as the
I
music.
think we are where we are, and that
yeah.
it needs to be recognized,
Right.
but hopefully we're ready to move past that and make it a non-issue.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
Because I think there's far more important things for people to be all worked up about.
Right,
you know?
right. That's here.
Yeah.
Well said. Well said.
Yeah.
Well, the album is called Trespassing. I love the song Better Than I Know Myself, which was the first single, which
thank
is
you.
so good. What's the next single?
The next single is out now. It's called Never Close Our Eyes.
Oh, it's a good one,
You got to
too.
check out the music video. It just came out
Oh,
today.
good. Really?
Yeah,
Okay,
today.
great. Adam Lambert, can you come back and visit us?
Yes, of
and maybe
course.
sing next
Yeah,
time?
yeah, next time, yeah, sure.
Adam Lambert, everybody. Thank you, sweetie. Thank you. We have to take a break. We'll be right back. Awesome.
Good seeing you. Thank you so much.
Up next, we sit down with Hollywood starlet Rachel Bilson.